Hello guys, welcome to another video. In this one, we are going to talk about topology. It's actually something you have to deal with when you have like a character and you sculpted it. You had so much fun sculpting, but now you have to deal with the technical part, which is topology, right? So this is a Zremesher model subdivided and sculpted. So the topology is apparently not very good, right? It's not. This is not production ready in any way possible. A zero-mesh model would not be able to do that yet. Maybe in the future when AI gets smarter, they'll be able to figure out how to do topology properly. But for now, it still requires human touch. But we can utilize it on some extent. Okay, so let's actually take a look at the workflow that is partially relying on the Zremesher and partially relies on like human touch. All right, so let's go ahead and have a copy of this guy. I'm gonna have a duplicate of the model here. And then go to the geometries. I'm gonna turn off the subdivision level by deleting lower actually. All right, and then I'm also gonna go to the polypaint. And you can see it's having some polypaint already. I'm gonna override that. So I'm gonna go for the standard brush, right? And then I'm not gonna do the add, but only RGBs. And we're gonna choose white color and do a brush. Oh, sorry, color fill object. This is gonna fill this entire object with white polypaint. And then I'm gonna drag the Z intensity to 100, make my brush smaller, go to the strokes, and then make sure that I have the lazy mouse on a little bit higher lazy radius. Okay, all right, and then also Sculptures Pro on. Okay, now I can start to paint. Oh, make sure the color is now black. So what I'm trying to paint here is basically like the almost like the edge that I want to be specifically say that is going to be representing or eventually ends up with a loop. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm trying to paint over here. Now when I reaches to the arm, it's kind of like blocking me from seeing what's underneath. So let me holding down Control Shift and go to the stroke here. I'm gonna choose lasso. That way I can lasso out by holding down Control Shift and drag and just lasso out these areas I don't want to see for now. Okay, holding down Alt before you release the other buttons. Now you can see I'm basically hiding those things. And then I can continue from there. You want your lines to be kind of like dark enough so there's no broken parts. Okay. So when you're doing this, it will be actually a little bit better if you use the mouse, because the mouse doesn't have a pressure sensitivity. So you would always be sure that you're drawing a complete black line like this. Okay. It can be a little bit messy, but it just have to be all like blocked out. So there's no like gray area like this. That's not gonna work. Okay, make sure that you have at least something in the middle that is completely black. Okay, and let me Control Shift and click to get everything back. Now before we move on to add more lines, let's go ahead and take a look at what we are trying to do here. So I'm gonna go for the Z plugin and drag it over here. And then there is a polygroup it, and we're gonna click on polygroup it from paint. Now depending on how dense your model is, this is gonna take a little while. Okay, so you have to wait for that is done. Okay, so I think mine is going to take a little while, so you have to be a bit patient. Because sometimes it just doesn't go back, but you just move your cursor a little bit. You can see now it's reading the files from polygroup it. Now you can take a look at the polygroup. You can see how the line actually divided the model into two different groups. Okay. Now we're going to use the same thing, same technique to divide more groups. I'm going to Control Shift and click on the arm to make sure that in the stroke, I'm going to go back to the rectangular while I'm holding down Control Shift. Click on the, that. Well, maybe I can do this. Click on this, and again, to basically have the two sleeves. Use Transpose tool and turn off that gizmo So I can draw that old school transpose line here. And then holding down Control and click on that white circle to flatten it. Then go back here to drawing or hit the Q button and then Control Shift and drag to, drag over here. So that way I can just fill those into a black color by doing color, fill object, and then have this perfect black line draw, in the middle. Right, cool. And then for other parts, it can be done in a similar fashion. Like I think I can also isolate this. Okay, and then use that, and then Control click, and then I can, somehow find a sweet spot. Okay, and do the same thing. But you can of course use the drawing. I think this is faster. And that's actually really good. It's exactly there, right? Okay, so I kind of wanted to also cut out the color here. So I'm gonna go start drawing from here. Keep on going. I'm trying to press on the tablet really firmly because I don't want it to leave anything that's not completely black. Now also be aware that it's needs to go all the way to the back, so those all has to be connected. Again, it can be a little bit messier. There's no problem of that. We'll have to clean that up eventually. So as long as the polygroup is, bricked up properly, more or less, then it should be able to work, right? Okay, and also turn off symmetry. I'm gonna draw like a line in the center. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the loops I kind of wanted to see on my model. So when that is done, then let's go ahead and do that again. I'm gonna go for polygroup it and then polygroup from Paint one more time. Again, it's gonna take a little while for it to basically lay out all the, all the polygroups. Okay, let me pause the video actually. All right, so that part is done. You can see now we have all the different polygroups. But if you really zoom in to the polygroups, let's actually disable the polypaint. We can go for a white color again, go for brush, and then just a color, and then fill object to clear that. You can see, well, even we have the polygroups, it's not looking really nice, right? It's having all those jaggedy lines. So we can go for a deformation, and we can drag this polish by feature up so that it's a little bit more smoother. Now you're gonna lose a lot of detail, of course, by doing that, but that's not the focus here, right? We'll have to basically getting a really low poly anyways, so that wouldn't preserve anyways. Okay, so yeah, we have now a smoother edge as you can see earlier. So now we can go for a Zremesher to get some topology out of it. So go to geometry and then Zremesher. Okay, we're gonna not use the legacy anymore. And then one thing you want to turn on is the keep group, but do not smooth it. Smooth it will smooth it too much, so lower that down to 0. Or maybe you can have a little bit, but I just tend to 0 that out. And then for the target poly count, that's gonna be something like 10. Okay, and then I think that's it. So we're gonna go ahead and Zremesher it. Okay, again, the first time we were doing it, it's gonna take a little while. So let me go ahead and pause the video until that is finished. All right, now that is over, you can see we're having, a decent topology. This is not gonna be the best topology at all. This one is probably gonna be okay for maybe a high-res render. If you wanted to just to render like a high-res image with texturing, this is fine, right? You have all the polygroups. You could just go ahead and do a do a Z plugin and then UV master to do the UVs right away. It's gonna work and you can texture it. There's no problem. But this topology is still far from decent when it comes to rigging it and doing animation. Okay, now just to name a few, like some of the topologies, like maybe over here, you can see, well, you have all the complications here. Painting skin weighting will be like a big pen. And you have some weird topology happening over here too. And it's just really not clean enough to be able to do like a serious character, right? But nonetheless, it's getting there, right? It's still workable on some things. But one thing I want to do is that I wanted to reduce the poly count just a little bit more. So I'm gonna go for Zremesher again, but this time instead of doing a poly count, I'm gonna say I'm just gonna get half of that. So Zremesher it one more time. Okay. And because we have symmetry on, this is actually gonna make them all symmetrical, which is actually what I want. And I'm gonna do that again until I got like a low enough poly count. And I don't really care about losing detail over there because that's I don't really need those things to be represented. I want to have something simpler so that when we were doing deformation and skin weighting, it's manageable. Okay, maybe just one more time. All right, this is not that much of a difference. So I think there's something here that's not quite nice. So I'm gonna try to smooth it. And then if you have something that's, you know, really bad up there, you can go for like the same amount. Just there measure it, and then it should be able to fix it on some extent. Yeah, like that. Anyway, cool. So let's say this is something we can work with now, right? And then we're gonna get this guy out. Again, but I think depending on like what kind of you know, requirement on the polygon is, this could already be fun for rigging because it's kind of like very simple and, you know, even geometry. But there are areas you can improve. Like there are so many lines over here. Maybe you don't need that much. Yeah, that's so. It's not like the more the better, right? It's like the more work you have to do, and the model is heavier, and there's so many things that could be enhanced in this model. So we're gonna go ahead and fix the problems we're having here inside of Maya. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing out, turn off group, and then go ahead and export this guy. I'm gonna call this guy garment low. That's a weird place. And save it, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and export also the high-res model. So that's gonna be in the subtools, the original model. Maybe go down a few subdivision levels and get this thing out. And one more time, we don't need to have the group, and then just export this guy. And this one will be called garment underscore high. Okay. All right, now I have Maya opened. We can then get those models in. I'm gonna go for file and import. And then I'm gonna look for the garment high here. Import that. This is gonna be our high-res model. I'm gonna delete the history and then make it soften edge just to make it look better. And we can also go ahead and just go for file, import again to get the low one. Okay. Now I'm gonna grab the low one here. Now before I do anything crazy with it, I'm gonna just try to reduce the poly count. And for example, like you can see this loop, right? I can just basically delete it and go for the next one and do the same thing and keep on going. For every other loop, we can basically delete. Okay. Now this will not take a whole lot of time because the more you delete, the easier you can delete because there are going to be less and less poly count, right? So keep on going to the very bottom. I think there are, you know, many lines we can also get rid of. All those lines on the inside could be useless already. I don't need that. And here you can see, well, the distance is kind of like not even. So I'm gonna go add a edge loop here in the middle and then delete this one basically. Right, like that. And keep on going, I can just go do the same thing on the vertical directions. So these lines, basically every other line. So we're trying to reduce the poly count by half. Okay. Now, which line I'm deleting is it's not that accurate like every other. Sometimes it's not an even number anyways. You can hold it down Control Shift and drag any loop to basically sliding around the edge they belongs to. I think we can get rid of more lines. Yeah, we can get rid of that. We don't need that maybe. And these lines, that's a lot of lines I don't really care to have. Not you, not you, and not you either. Maybe I can just shift this guy a little bit. And for these guys, I can also just try to get rid of every other line, basically. Alright, see you guys later. You don't have to worry too much about this uneven also, because we will have to have other workflows to make that more even in this case, so don't worry too much, right? But you can see, line by line, we can simplify this quite a lot. Don't even want that line at all. Maybe we can just go ahead and connect those two components. Okay, this is gonna still be faster than doing it from scratch. As you can see, we are already getting, quite a low no poly geometry already. I think I can get rid of that. We will have to fix n-gons like that, but that's not that hard to fix. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep on going with the deletion. Don't need you guys at all. I don't need you, you, or you, or you. Okay, and don't need that. You can see now, this is like a pole, right? So we could get rid of that instead. Yeah, that would make it easier to fix. Okay, don't need you. Probably don't need you. And let's see. There's kind of like a dense line over here. Maybe get rid of that. I could shift this guy over a little bit. Anyway, there's a lot of lines in here too, so I think I can get every other two lines just to simplify the geometry there. And there's a lot of lines in here too. So I'm just gonna try to, again, deleting them. Maybe not you anymore. Okay. Not you and not you. And we have some complications in here, right? So I have to deal with that. I think I can just get rid of that and that. And what does this line go? Whoa, that's a complicated line. Can go maybe all the way to here and get rid of that. And then here I can just, delete all these guys. And then get rid of that point. And those guys just have to be extended to the very edge using multi-cut or whatever. Right? I really wish I can do this in ZRemesh, but I can't. ZRemesh is having a different mindset when they're building their hard surface modeling tools. Or it's just very different from my understanding of hard surface modeling. It's never the same as traditional modeling. I guess they have different ideas on how things should be, so they ignore the tradition. I'm gonna merge those two lines, 2 points, and just get rid of that. Okay, I'm holding down Control Shift and drag this forward. Maybe I can get rid of some more lines over here. Don't really need that much anyways. And maybe even kind of wanting to keep that, or maybe not. I can even those things out more, but I'm just trying to get rid of more lines, make this a simpler geometry if I can. Yeah, get rid of that, and not that one, not that one either, not that one either. Okay, and then you can see I'm trying to even reduce more now with much lesser lines down the way. Okay, because I'm aiming for like a game model in this case. If you're doing like an animation model, it could be already fun when it comes to polygon for now. But for game, maybe that's already a little bit too much. So I'm trying to, make it lesser than as less as possible. I'm trying to delete a lot of lines. So maybe not this one actually, and this can be merged together. and get rid of that. Cool. Or maybe not you anymore. And not you anymore. Oh, that's actually a loop. So maybe I can even that out. It's fine to have more lines over here because we're kind of like needing to have a lot of bending anyways over there. Okay, but as you can see, through just a few more minutes of tweaking, we can get something decent, right? I'm gonna try to merge these two again, use that little trick and delete one of the lines. Yeah, to fix the n-gon problem. This requires you, of course, to have some traditional modeling experience. Like you have to understand topology and having enough experience to basically quickly do this kind of like tweaking, right? If you don't know what's going on here, if you feel like this is too fast, that means you don't have enough practice on traditional modeling. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, those are lost techniques that people don't care about anymore. Anyway, so I'm gonna holding down Ctrl Shift and shift this guy over just to get it better, and I don't know what that line is doing, so maybe just get rid of it. Also, I can see we have a lot of lines in here either, right? So we don't need those guys either. So I'm trying to basically get rid of that and that and that and all of these, I think. And there's more lines here, as you can see. So I'm gonna grab that, holding down Control and oops, cannot really reach there. If I can just get one of those things. No, I think I know what to do. So I'm gonna go grab that first, and then holding down Shift and double click on this guy. Nope. Maybe I need to just double click on this line, and then Control and right mouse button to face two faces. And then grow the selection by holding down Control and right mouse button drag over to the upper right corner so that I can get these things out because they are kind of like dense too, and I don't want them to be dense. Something simpler like this would be much more preferred. See, yeah, that line is kind of like dense, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Cool, you can see now we're getting a much simpler geometry. All right, now that's only actually 20 minutes in, and to get this from, in 20 minutes, this is pretty fast, right? And then we can grab our high-res model and make it live, and we can go for like a Quadraw 2 now, and that's when we really go ahead and start tweaking it. You can hold it on B and drag to have the soft selection, and you can just start to smooth out the topology to even out the uneven lines. That's why you don't have to pay a whole lot of attention if they're not even. Right, because you can always smooth them out, right, like this. Okay, I don't quite like what's going on in here, so let me Control Shift and delete what's going on in there. Maybe I don't really want that line, so I can just do this real quick. All right. So again, this also boils down to your understanding of topology. You have to be kind of like decent on doing topology manually to be able to do this really fast also. And so far, I would like to say, there's no easy way around in most of the cases. You just have to be through a whole lot of this to be able to do a good job. And that's weird. I don't quite like what's going on here. Let's see. I think I can maybe do a connection like that. Do a connection like this, and then get rid of that line. Kind of like annoying. And then let's see, yeah, there's some line that's connected. I don't like that either, so keep on going and try to fix it. Yeah, better. Okay. And sometimes you just see problems like you wouldn't want to have like this is like there's no dedicated line to represent the bottom, and that's the problem I'm trying to address here. Maybe this line is the bottom line, that's the turning point, and maybe I can get rid of that. Okay, just to make things more clear on what's going on. As I'm dragging. Cool. Yeah, that's more clean on what's going on there. And we can go back and keep on going with our Quadraw tool again, just smooth things out. And it's actually getting pretty good already. I think I like almost everything here. But again, there are in-game problems we have to fix. Like for example, here, right, there's a big n-gon like this. So let's see. Well, we could get rid of that entire line. But let's see what's going on. So this goes here and connect to that. Maybe we're missing a line in there anyways. Just add a line. I think that's just, you know, all we have to do. Oh, you know what? That's not adding properly. So I guess I just do it myself with insert edge loop too instead of Quadraw. And then we can do Quadraw to fill in that. Yeah, no big issue. Just you know, same old stuff we do every day on topology. Alright. But also there's a catch. I think topology is something that we have to deal with technically just for the purpose of being able to texture, UV texture, right? And to be able to rig it. And it doesn't have to be all perfect as long as it's fulfilling its purpose, right? As long as you can rig it. It's simple enough to support the geometry, to support the shape, and then to be able to be rigged. And more than that wouldn't be that much of a advantage. It just takes time, you know, so you don't want it to take a lot of your time because this is not artistical at all. Okay, I think we're pretty much there. Maybe I can get rid of the lines over here. You can also holding down Control Shift and middle mouse drag a line to basically move it. Yeah, that could help you to move things a little bit. It's not in a very good spot. And sometimes you have triangles like this. As you can see down there, right? There's a triangle. Well, again, this has to be, you know, based on your understanding of what's going on. You can see the problem is that this line is supposed to be looping all the way back and connect to that, but it does get turned over here to the inside. So you can say, okay, I'm not going to go inside anymore over here. So you can find that line and then holding down Shift and double click to here. Oh, actually not this line, this line. So it goes all the way here. Delete that line. Okay, and then you got this triangle, and then this is just going to be the two triangles resolving each other. Let me turn off that multi-cut and keep on going to there, to there, and to there, and then you can just get rid of this diagonal line, and you'll be fine, right? And here you can see you're creating an n-gon. Try to fix that. I think I can get rid of. Let's see. I can connect that to that to make this one flows to there. And then what's happening in here can be just simplified. Oh, I'm trying to delete. Okay, and then we can connect that and that. Maybe we don't need this little line. Don't know what it's doing. Maybe we can just merge those two. So you can see what traditional modeling ways or techniques is really important. If you want to get something decent, it's just have to have human touch. You know, computers are not that good yet. You just have to understand that. Delete that and maybe get rid of that too. How about this line? What does it do? No, I guess we can get rid of that too. And there's a lot of n-gons here. Let's merge that. You know what, do I really need this? I don't think I need this anyways, so I'm gonna go get rid of that, right? The computer doesn't know this kind of things. Only human can understand this for now, right? So relying on the ZRemesher and things like that wouldn't really help you on things like this. You know, it's just not capable of discovering that there's something needed to be over there. I think I can basically deleting that face and add some edge loop in here, and then I can bevel these bridge these two and get rid of that face. Don't need that, and we can bridge that. ridge. Come on. I don't know what that line is. Get rid of that. Okay, you can hit straight to check if the topology looks smooth when you smooth preview it, then it's gonna be fine, right? Now, oftentimes when you're like, this is almost done, right? I think I like everything almost, but you don't know if there's an angle or not. Like there could be things that's visible and there could be things that's not that visible. So one last step you kind of wanted to do is check by doing mesh, and then you go for cleanup, and you go look for select matching polygons, and then face with more than 4 sets and apply. You can see now that's going to be the faces that's angle. You can control 1 to isolate those guys. You can see there are a bunch, right? And go ahead and fix them one by one. Okay, so this one we can go in from there and then go in and go in. I think that's it. Yeah, you know what? It's not there yet. Keep on extending from there all the way in. All right, that should fix it. That's a little bit uneven, so I'm gonna drag it. Slide it a little bit. I don't like this line. I'm gonna delete it. Right. And then I'm gonna fix it by fixing this thing by adding a loop goes in. Alright, cool. That's cleaner up there. And again, do that again and see. Yeah, that's one more here. So here again, you wanted to make a choice, right? How do you want to address this? Now that's also based on like how like clean you want it to be, because here you can see this pole is over here, so you can find something symmetrical to the other side. That's gonna be the reasonable position to build that pole, right? So it's on this line, so reasonably it could be like a line going from here up. That would be the best solution. Okay, but you can also be lazy and say, I'm gonna connect a line maybe from here all the way to the back. That would work too. Okay, basically you need a line. This is like a pentagon, right? You need to find a point and connect a line from that point to its to the line that it's facing. That's gonna make it into 2 quads, and then you extend that line to the very end of that loop. So you have 5 different options when it comes to that. Okay, but that's not the only solution. You can also say you can merge 2 of the points. Again, either 2 of those points, like maybe those 2. I just need to delete one of the lines after that, and you could do this over here. I think that's gonna be an optimal solution. So you can just get rid of that line. Okay, and then we can go ahead and do Quadraw to make sure that I have this guy live and then grab this guy and then Quadraw to again and just smooth this out, right, to even out the polygon. Kind of want that to represent the edge though. Don't want to go too far away. Can soften the edge. Yeah, you can see that's fixed, and keep on going. Oh, that should be fixed. I don't know why it's still telling me it's wrong. Think I'm gonna ignore that. And here I have another one. It's inside actually. I don't think it's that hard to fix. I just need to get rid of the points that's not doing anything. Control click to, so if it doesn't go away, you can control click, or I guess I can merge those 2, hold down V and snap it to the center and merge again. That would fix that too. Apply that one more time. So I guess it's just this guy now. Really don't know what's going on here. Huh, that's actually one of the inside. Okay, so I'm gonna apply that again and grow selection and grow again. It's able to be able to isolate that. You know what? That actually reminds me, Like there's more lines I wanted to get rid of in this area. I don't really care about that and that. Just delete it. How far does it go? Maybe just get rid of all these. Hopefully I'm not destroying too much. Yeah, you can see nothing got selected. That means we're all clean. We're in the clear. 35 minutes for a topology like this. This is not bad, right? This is probably how I'm gonna end up with if I'm doing it manually. But we're not spending a lot of mental energy on this, right? It's just basically deleting lines and fix problems if there is any. But I think this Maya stage or whatever, like Blender or Houdini or whatever software you're familiar with to do this, that's a necessary step to get it work, right? You just can't get something like this purely through like ZBrush. I don't think there's a way, but maybe if there is, I would like to know. Actually, I want to use ZBrush all the time, just because it has the ability to tweak shapes that much more efficient and easy than Maya. Okay, but for like a garment topology, this is gonna be, almost like all purpose. Like it should be suitable for like whatever you wanted to do. Okay, some minor enhancement like here. I don't think I need that line. It's kind of like getting really dense. And that's gonna give me again a none here. This guy, right? Let me actually disable that. I can do multi-cut too and go from there and keep on going and go around here and then just merge those 2 points that produce that triangle. You can see how I'm making a loop that's wrapping around, right? And that's also gonna make this part looks less stretched. Anyway, there are so many other things maybe you can improve, just get it better and better. But this is again something that's good enough to work with already, right? So in my opinion, you don't have to worry a whole lot after you simplify it to this kind of like level. But there could be areas like just you could stop the video now and do your own thing already. But just for people like me who sometimes pursue something a little bit more perfect, I'm gonna keep on trying to make it better. Like here you can see, well, I don't like what's going on in here, because it's kind of like creating this diamond shape, which is kind of like across the direction of the bending, right? So I would like to see it to be more even, right? So that's when you have to do some serious retopologizing. But again, we have a base, so it shouldn't be that hard. We can go for a Quadraw tool now, and I can get rid of the lines or loops in here, right? And even that and that and that. Okay, so I'm just trying to follow the contour of the body more. So things like I'll have a loop going down, and that can keep on going, no problem on that. And so you can retopologize some of the certain areas you think you can improve it and make it a little bit better. So I'm thinking like, how can I make it better by maybe doing this instead. Well, that doesn't look nice though. I don't like to have a corner in there. Let's see if I can simplify this. Keep on extending, maybe we'll be able to see the problem. Yeah, there's just so many lines going downwards and less are going from the back, right? So yeah, now the problem is identified. I can maybe get rid of one of the lines here. I think I can have one more line going this way. Just need to smooth that out. This part is it's fun to having a little bit more lines because it's kind of like the bending area of the shoulder, right? It's needing that much lines to preserve the shape better. So it's fun to have that. Okay. Yeah, when it comes to topology, there's always a way to make it just slightly a little bit better. And sometimes you will think that, especially for students in college, like they just touch 3D a little bit and they don't know like what's gonna happen if they don't do something correctly, and they just assume that it's gonna be fun, right? We'll be able to do it anyways. It doesn't have to be that perfect, and realize that they're completely wrong and having to deal with the problems more miserably in the future. So it would be better to make it good in the very beginning, right? Like, you know, clean it up, make everything simple and easy to manage. You know, have that habit all the time, and it's gonna help you a whole lot in the later stages, right? Don't rely on your future self to fix it. So your future self will be happy, right? Anyway, you can see now I'm just cleaning up more, deleting more lines, right? Again, I'm aiming for like a game model. So like I'm not trying to end up with a lot of lines. I'm just trying to simplify it as much as I want. Okay, like here I can even just get rid of that and that. You can see how much I'm simplifying this, right? Got a triangle, no problem. This means I can get rid of that line, smooth that out. Got an n-gon here. Again, merge two of the points, deleting the line from one of the points. And then you're done. You can see now, people, like for beginners, they just add new lines all the time. But when they need to add a line to fix topology, there's always a way to fix the same topology issue with deleting a line. So, because that just means that the line doesn't match, right? The polygon doesn't match. And you just have to either get one line out from one side, or getting one more line in another side. So it's up to you, right? But don't always try to add new lines, because it's gonna be keep adding new lines and new lines. Your model is getting out of control really quickly, right? As you can see now, this is slightly better, right? When it comes to polygon, topology, cleanness. But again, do you really need that? It's also based on your project, your preferences, how you rig it, and what kind of polygon limitation you have, right? You can keep on reducing it or adding more if you're getting like you know, polygonal shape, right? If it's losing too much of a volume. All right, that's 42 minutes in. Still kind of like really, I think it's still much faster than trying to do it manually, right? So I think this is some of the workflows. I think, you know, for a character that's like on schedule and you just have to finish it real quick, this is gonna be the way that I will go for, just to get it work, right? Especially if this is not a very important character, then it's fine, right? No one would judge too much about that because there's so many workloads, right? If this has to be done, so you can work on more important things, by any means, just, you know, do it this way, right? Simplify the process, go for the easy route, make some sacrifices. That's what we do all the time. Alright, so that's it for this video, and when you're done with this, you can basically bring this back now to ZBrush, maybe bake the details back on, or just UV it and start texturing right away. Alright, cool. Thanks for watching. See you next time.